Hello folks, how are you doing? Welcome to my channel. Today at the time of filming is the 17th of January 2024. So this is video number 2 in a new playlist that I'm putting together, which is all about ancient mysteries. Mysteries that are still around today, that are still spoken about today. As with all these videos, this is the second one I've done, I'm very new to this subject. So it's not as though I'm a Bermuda Triangle teacher or that I've ever done any content on it. I like doing this because actually I've never really looked into it, apart from the Atlantis stuff and the Titanic video I did, but even then I'd not really read other people's books or work. So what's drawn me to do this is I am still reading, still chipping away at it, this book, which is A Convoluted Universe, Book 1 by Dolores Cannon. I'm getting there. And in it she covers the Bermuda Triangle, and I found it so interesting. What I don't want to do is turn this into repeating what Dolores has done. There's already many people that are doing that, and anyway, I don't want to do that. I want to bring something else to it, something new to it, without using other people's stuff, because that's a little bit wrong. I'll briefly say some of the findings that she found. Well, it's out there anyway. Basically the Bermuda Triangle, the stories of people flying over it, sailing over it and going missing. There's loads of stuff on the internet about it. Many different theories about what's happening. Through Dolores' hypnotherapy, some of her clients have said that basically it's a portal that you can only go through when you're in a certain stage of enlightenment or when you're ready for it. And basically once you go through it, there's no coming back. But once you go through it, it's an absolute blissful place. So there's nothing to fear with the Bermuda Triangle. We can find that a lot of these stories can turn into fear-mongering because we don't understand them and we're going to disappear. There's nothing to fear. It's also known, talking about fear, when I did Google this morning only to find the map, because I wanted to find a map of it just to see where it is, Bermuda Triangle, if I hope I can get it back up again. It's known as Bermuda Triangle. It's known as the Devil's Triangle. The Devil's Triangle. So straight away you're being shown something to be scared of. It's also in the Atlantic Ocean. It's down in South America, down near Maui and where Lemuria was. So we've already spoken about the fact of Atlantis, the Titanic, the Atlantic Ocean, the power portals beneath the ocean. In Dolores' work, they got to a stage where they said it's like a mirror that fragments, and there's still one of those fragments that is spinning, and every now and again some wind takes the fragment and lights it up again and gets it to spin. Basically when Atlantis went, fragments of it went out into the ocean, and there are portals, vortexes that are still at work and can still bring people in. So when I was putting together the thumbnail and I went to write Bermuda Triangle on the thumbnail, it didn't come out as Bermuda Triangle. It started to come out as Mermaid Triangle. I typed in B, I typed in E, I typed in R, and I luckily looked, otherwise I would have just posted it, and it started to write mermaid. So that got me excited because you know I'm drawn to mermaids, and I was like, so is there a mermaid energy, is there a mermaid frequency there? I'm going to be using the Oceanic Tarot, which guess what, has mermaids on it. I use this for the Atlantic one, the Atlantis one. And I'm going to be using the Lemurian Starchild Oracle because it's very close to Lemuria. It's in the sea. So I've got these decks that complement it. I'm also using the Magical Dimensions because the story goes that it leads to a dimension. And we're going to investigate it. We're going to see what the cards want to tell us. So we're going to hand over to each of these decks to see what the decks want to say about the Bermuda Triangle. So let's start with the tarot. So can I have some information please via these decks on what exactly is the Bermuda Triangle? Connecting to the light, whoops, connecting to the divine. Connecting to the triangle itself. As I said that heat, I started to feel heat. And it feels like, you know, when you get off a plane, and I remember when we went to Rome, and I've not been abroad since I was 7, and we got off the plane and the heat just hits you. But it's not, you're not burning, it's just a heat. So there's a heat energy there as well. I'm hearing the words, I am not here to frighten you. I am nothing to be feared. Oops. I am just a portal in time. Ooh, 2 cards are falling out. So 8 of Swords, restriction. 7 of Pentacles, potential. What's at the bottom? Gossip, the Page of Swords. Oops. The Magician, manifestation. 10 of Cups, completion. It's very, you're already getting Dolores' vibe here. Completion, that you've completed your journey. You've completed your spiritual journey. The Ace of Cups, love. 7 of Swords, loss. If you lose someone going through it, you're going to be sad, you're going to be scared, you are going to be frightened. It's almost like going through the portal, it feels blissful, it feels love, it feels completion. It's a bit like death. It's a bit like death. It feels like the Magician. But for those that are left behind, or those that read things in the paper, it can bring about heightened panics. Anxiety, that's the word I was looking for rather than panics. Conflict, 5 of Swords. Calm, 6 of Swords. Ace of Swords, victory. King of Cups, understanding. One more card. Page of Pentacles, opportunity. What I'm feeling with these cards is this. The energy around the, not the energy around the portal, the story around the portal has been tampered with by us. We're going to fear. What we don't understand, we're going to fear. It's like the crop circles is another one, of which we will be doing a video about. We're going to fear about it, the press go into fear about it, the news goes into fear about it, so that heightens our fear about it. I remember my dad talking about the Bermuda Triangle. I remember, you know, teachers talking about the Bermuda Triangle, and it was never in the case of enlightenment and hope. It was always, oh, you know, the stories about people disappearing. Also as well, it's a moment in our world where we're having to have a tough love moment with these things. Things that were just the norm back in ancient civilizations, way, way, way back, where now we go into fear. People do it with tarot readers. Oh, you're not going to see a tarot reader. Oh, you know, oh, you're not going to have healing. Oh, don't have a healing session. Oh, don't buy tarot cards. Oh, don't buy crystals. They go into fear. They're living in fear. And actually, what they don't realise is they are part of the community. They are part of the all that is, the oneness. So it's almost like it's been dangled in front of us by the light to say, deal with your fears. Deal with your fears that all of a sudden, bang, you can just disappear. Deal with that fear. It's the same fear of death, isn't it? That's why we fear death. We fear that moment of what's going to happen, what am I going to see at the other side? And that's what I'm feeling. The portal itself is the Magician card, but there's been manipulation around it. There's also been naive teachings around it as well, where people have manipulated the teachings around it, that have contaminated it, It feels that it doesn't open as much as it used to do for that reason, because it feels like it's had to just step back a bit. I'm being shown galleons. I call them galleons. It's probably the wrong name for it. Galleons, ships that have gone missing, that are not in the history books. You know, the big wooden galleons, like, I don't know, what's his name, Captain Cook and all of that. More people went through that portal in historical times than they do now. But what I'm also getting is people that come near it or around it can still sense it. People can also, rather than going into the portal and that's it, bye, they can have actually awakenings around the area. I spoke about my own awakening and I didn't know where the Bermuda Triangle was back then. The power of that ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. There's various different spots on that Atlantic Ocean that I'm being shown that can be portals for awakening. And it's almost like Spirit have said we've actually reduced it because it was getting too much. The minute we started getting news and television and papers and it started getting taken out of context and false prophets got hold of the information, they had to change it because what they didn't want to do was cause mass hysteria. The guides of light will not cause mass hysteria. They will retreat before that happens. But there's still vortexes of energy around the area where people just fly over it if you're in a plane. Maybe you can hit it in meditation. Maybe you're in it in a boat where moments of clarity, moments of enlightenment can happen. Let's look at the cards that are all swords. Because humanity is in a right old mess. We feel loss. Even people that are on a healing path, we still feel losing our loved ones. And it's almost like some people don't even want to look at the Bermuda Triangle because it's just too scary and painful for them. But it's also the card of trickery, the card of anxiety, the card of conflict, the card of calm, the card of victory. What I'm also being shown is people that have gone through it, before they get to it, there's a feeling on that plane or on that boat that of total peace and calm. The minute the door's shut. Who was it I channeled? Was it Dodie? I'm sure it was Dodie. I cannot remember. I think it was connected to that Mercedes. Was it Thomas Cromwell? Can't remember. I think it was Dodie. I'm sure it was. Where he said something like, when you die, you go before you actually physically die. And it's hard to explain and make sense of. But you've gone. So you never know what it is. Say I'm going to go into information, TMI here. Say if you're in a house fire, you're not aware of it. Something switches off and you're not aware that you're burning. If you're drowning, you're not aware of it. You're gone. And you can actually look back and see what's happening just to stop that going into fear, because that would be horrific. So if you've got fears about that, not just fears about Bermuda Triangle, but fears about the way you die, the information that came through to me was that you don't experience that fear. You're taken before that. The physical body may be operating, but the consciousness, the light has gone from it. Although you're still connected and you still can go through it, this is also what I'm also getting, and we've had this in the channelings, where when you talk to spirit about their passing, they actually are very sketchy because they don't actually have a lot of information about it. And what I'm getting from that is that you don't need that information about your passing. That actually makes sense. You always say, especially when there's been a controversial passing, and we're like, can you tell us about your passing, please? And it always like spirit just like, nope. Because number one, your passing time is sacred. And number two, they're not aware of it. They're not aware of it. Also as well, for some people I'm being shown that it gets wiped. It gets wiped because it would, if you died in a fire, it's going to take, look at the karmic circle we're in now. It's going to take a long time so it gets muted or it's cleared. But the debris can still be there, if that makes sense. Right, let me gather up these cards. Is the Bermuda Triangle something to fear? Is it something to fear? 3 cards, please. Is it something to fear? Is the Bermuda Triangle something to fear? Achievement, 8 of Pentacles, achievement. Gossip, Page of Swords, the gossip mongers out there. Strength, stability. Look at that. Oh. I'm going to have to talk to you, so I'm going to have to move the card to one side so people that lip read can see what I'm saying, so the card will go blurry. But this is basically a mermaid, and it looks like a vagina. But it's also a portal that is pushing open. It is mermaid energy. It's mermaid. It's a mermaid dimension. It's a mermaid dimension. And it's a rebirth. And look at that, how the water's gushing. It's rebirth. It is not something to fear. So it feels like it does lead to some type of mermaid kingdom. Ignore the gossip about it. The Queen of Pentacles, kindness. It's a gentle frequency. I wonder if... Ooh, I need to be careful then, because I have mermaid within me. No, I don't need to be careful. If it's more a case of you're going home, it feels like it's more of a case that you're going home. Not that you're being taken, the mermaids are taking you. It feels like you're actually going home. It's a place of kindness. Which is why it's closed up now. It's not closed up, it's just they're very choosy because people are way too chaotic. And there's been way too much external stimulation for people to be able to access that portal. But it feels like as time starts to shift, we become more open to it and less scared of it and more accepting of it. We'll start to hear the stories of people going through. 8 of Cups, which is change. It's a completion of a cycle. It's a place of emotional well-being. It's the Queen of Cups. It's sensitivity. It's gentle. It's loving. It's not scary. Page of Wands. It's a place of creativity. I'm being shown now into the portal, and it feels like it's a big, I want to say HQ, one of the many, I don't know, energetic HQs that are out there. You can get galactic HQs, the shamanic HQ, Atlantis, it's another HQ. There's all these different HQs, the headquarters, spiritual headquarters that are out there, governing all the ancient laws and the galactic laws and all of that. They're all playing their role. Because as you see, the thing is, there's all different species out there and all different needs. And it's a HQ. It's a I'm saying HQ to make it understandable for us all. Yeah. 5 of Pentacles, the card of abandonment. Ace of Pentacles, prosperity. Can I have a clarifier for the card of abandonment? Endings, 10 of Swords, imagination, Page of Cups. Some other species, whether it's connected to the human species, but people have tried to close it or tamper with it. And it feels like maybe even a species got in there and that had to be dealt with, which is why they're very picky about who goes in now. Somebody's tried to end it. Abundance, the Queen of the Ocean. But again, There's also what I'm feeling into is at some point, whether they're still there now, there's crystals that are not called crystals. They're not on the seabed, they're beneath the seabed. Ooh. That's interesting. So these, I'll call them crystal stones, magic stones, are in that Bermuda Triangle, but they're under the seabed. Maybe they were once above on the seabed, but people tried to take them. They've now gone under the seabed and will only be accessed and given to those that have the ability to use them for the light. People have tried, this is all I'm channeling, I've not read this from books. People have tried to access these stones. They get sucked into a portal, but then chucked out somewhere else. Wisdom, the High Priest. It's governed and looked after by very, very wise sea beings. King of Wands, practicality. So, no, it's nothing to be feared. Just gathering up my cards. Taking some water. I always forget when I'm doing this kind of stuff, these kind of videos, where you're dealing with all these energies, to take lots of water. You may need to do the same as well. And watery eyes, talking about the water. Hormone eyes. Anyway, moving on. Let's use the magical dimensions. Show me the energy of Bermuda Triangle. Show me the energy of Bermuda Triangle. Show me the energy of Bermuda Triangle. I'm being told by Spirit that actually, you know, people say, oh, it's disappeared, we can no longer see it. It's all still there. It's all still there. It's just as humans, it's wiped, so we can't see it with our physical eyes. Because there are way too many humans that would try to access it, go there, you know, plague it, infect it, hurt it, damage it, absorb it. So when you come to the earth, all of these ancient realms and places are wiped from your physical eye. So you may be sailing over the Atlantic Ocean or somewhere else and you can see it all with your third eye, everything, but you can't see it with your physical, you can't go up and touch it, because it would cause, humanity is in such a state that it would just cause more pain. And actually a lot of these sacred spaces, if certain humans got in there, they could actually affect the running of the planet, the higher running of the planet. They are also saying that the powers that be, powers that were within the world, the governments, they feel that they think that they run the world. But in actual fact, what really runs the world is unobtainable, because if it was obtainable, certain people would try and stop that, including people on the street. Destiny, passion and service. Harmonic resolution, negativity, anger, transmute. Look at that, yeah. Humans are way too angry and in pain, wounded, to be able to go to these places and really access them. And I'm not saying that you can't sail over them, fly over them and feel the energy, or feel the energy of meditation. But if you were to see it like you was going to see a shop and go into a shop, oh look, that's the Bermuda Triangle portal, I'm going in. Our trauma would infect it. Our trauma would infect it. And it's the same with all of these sacred spaces. It's almost like it's switched off. It's not switched off. our keys are switched off. Where we've all got certain keys within us, and some of those keys are switched off, so we can't access it in certain ways. It's a bit like, you know, a swipe card at work. Your swipe card will allow you in certain places, but it won't allow you into other places. And eventually you may get promoted and your boss says, actually, I'll give you a new card because you can get into that office now or that room. It's that kind of thing. And it's not like saying, you're not coming in, no, you stay outside. It's not that. Because also as well, it could cause pain to us and damage. It's like healing. Don't rush your healing journey. Take it step by step because it will fry you. But the codes from these places are also coming back on point. The codes, the light language, the frequencies, the energies, however you want to call it. They're all coming back on point and they're starting to pulse out in the earth, which is also what is causing some of the internet issues, some of the electronic issues within the world, some of the breaking down of communication, because as these different places come back on grid again and pulse out, it affects our machinery, it affects our communication. It's also affecting the body. Intense ringing in the ears, intense thirst, intense dizziness, pains in the teeth as well, like your teeth feel as though they're pulsing, weird dreams. And it's having to be done gradually, because if it just went woof and they switched it back on again, humanity would die. It'd be too much for us. We've got so much trauma, so much density that we would die. And they don't want to deal with that, so it's pulsing out. It's also affecting time. I'm Chill's channeling. It's also affecting time, which is why time is quickening out. Spirit are also saying some humans are getting freaked out by time quickening up at the minute, and it's spinning them out. Okay? It's causing them to, what's happening? There will possibly be in future, and it's already happening, natural disasters around these places, volcanoes, flooding, fire, earthquakes, where actually what is happening is it's an explosion of energy. And I know that doesn't make it easier if you've been flooded, if you've been in a fire, but they're basically saying that all these different things are working together. We know fire transmutes the cleansing, the explosion of volcanoes, but also sometimes that can be because it's too much, the frequency. So they know that when that happens, they also need to bring it back and pull it back a little bit. Ooh. Attachment, accumulate, defense and scarcity. People are trying to make money on these portal places. And they're trying to drain them. Something also that I'm picking up with the rich of the world. With the rich of the world. Apparently there's ancient books, ancient pieces of paper. Get your teeth in, Claire. Ancient texts that have never been given to the public but are available in certain circles, certain situations, and it's being used to cause an imbalance of wealth. Okay? Oh. This is starting to recede and step back. I feel this started ancient. It started a long time ago. So we mustn't blame the ones that are here now, because they're only doing what they were taught to do. Isolation, loneliness, bonds and home. Isolation, loneliness, bonds and home. Many people at this time are feeling isolated, lonely and want to go home. The message that's coming through about that is that we mustn't. Because every single human being that comes to the planet is here for a reason. Even if it is just that you have to be sat in a cafe at a certain time, somebody comes in and they're in pain and they're sat within your frequency. This is not what I mean by absorbing people's pain. This is much deeper and higher than that. This is about everyone playing their role. People are needed here, and we must honour our time here, and we mustn't want to go home, because we will one day go home. I'm also feeling this is also home. And then the guides are saying humans need to stop thinking of Earth as not home. Earth is home. Earth is home. And when humans start to realise that Earth is home, or a home, we'll start to look after it a bit more. We'll start to look after our vessels a bit more. We'll start to look after our lives a bit more. We'll start to take pride in our experience on the earth plane. We will take pride of the years that we have on the earth plane. We will not waste the years on the earth plane. We will be thankful to be here. Duality. Test, confront, negotiation. Duality. Many people are getting caught up in duality. They're getting caught up in separation. Even in spiritual communities, there's many corners of the spiritual community at this time that are broken, that are culty, broken, debauched, fragmented, toxic. Humans must learn to realise that their spirituality is already within them. Yes, there's teachers, healers, classes, courses and all of that, but coming back onto their own grids is important, but also allowing people to have their own experiences. It has been a normal human reaction from where the species has been to be in a group, to be in a separate group, them against us. And society encourages that and has let that happen. But we've got to come out of that and find a way through it. I'm being shown an analogy. So you go into a coffee shop. Oh, I must need a coffee. I'm going on about coffee shops. And you sit down and you see someone in there that's on the phone, chewing gum, got their headphones on, I don't know, maybe reading a trashy paper, they're reading The Sun. Maybe they've got a friend there, they're loud, and you think, oh God, this is happening within the spiritual community. Are they not awakened? Are they not enlightened? I am on my path. But what you don't realise is that person that's there doing that had a lifetime as a shaman. He had a lifetime as a Viking warrior. They had a lifetime on Atlantis. And they're just in their own universe at this time, having their own experience. You may look at someone that's troughing on a big pizza and think, ew, this is happening. It's horrible out there at the minute within the spiritual community. Ew, they're eating a takeaway, it's toxic, it'll hurt them, it'll damage them, it'll cause death, destruction. They're having their own experience. And it's about understanding that. It's about allowing people to have their own experience. exploration, boldness, unknown and limitless. Remembering that we are limitless, but not letting what happened to other, like in Atlantis, where spiritual ego took over, where people are going too far with things. They're feeling invincible, and we're not invincible. Everyone is limitless. Everyone is boundless and can go on. Illumination, inspiration, positivity and joy. Reconnecting back into the Mother Earth energies. I wonder if all that I'm saying is what the Bermuda Triangle is actually trying to do. If that's one of its roles. I'm drawn to actually look for another name for it rather than, or its own, or has it got a name that is not the Bermuda Triangle. Should we see if we can get another name for it? How are we going to do it? I'm drawn to the Starchild deck because it is down near Lemuria. So let me just put these other cards away and let's see what it actually is called, if it has a name. Because again, that's a human thing. Let's see its name. I don't know who my guides are because I don't know what their names are. A lot of guides won't have... The only time they'll have names is to make it simple for us. That's interesting. I'll come back to the name of the Bermuda Triangle. In as far as names to guides, they don't know each other via names. They know each other via frequency. They only use their names for us, their frequencies. Because I'm also getting that names can be limiting. And they're showing me the example of surnames. So surnames, if you have a certain surname, it can be, oh, they're a bad family, oh, God. You know, certain surnames are, oh, yeah, and names. I used to, you know, have you ever loved a name and then met somebody that you didn't like with that name and you don't like that name again? So names are actually limiting, and that's why spirit don't use them. We use them to call them in because that's what we do, but they are more than their names. Show me the name of Bermuda Triangle. What's the name? Have we got a name for Bermuda Triangle? What is it also known as? They're showing me light language. It's a frequency and a code. Oops. Peace beyond survival. Peacemaker through inner peace, resolving ancient splits. Know yourself. Meditate. Who am I? Veil is lifting. Opening. I'm not going to try and find a name for it. Peace beyond survival. Peacemaker through inner peace, resolving ancient splits. So there's something there about the ancient splits. A lot of what's happening in the world now can be traced back to when ancient civilizations fell or ended. And people are still, without realising we're doing it, blaming and shaming other people. It's almost like there's things that were done and said back in those times that some people can't get over. We're all in this, by the way. And those were the times that humanity started to spiral off. Going away from source, going away from each other, going away from the all that is. Show me the energy of the Bermuda Triangle. Ooh. My tummy is rumbling. Show me the energy of the Bermuda. Lovely deck, but it's huge to shuffle. Show me the energy of the Bermuda Triangle. Emergence. Celebrate sensuality, joy, right to enjoy, truly living. It's not just a portal, but it is a portal into happiness. The last cloak, release old identities, magnificence realised. So don't go into fear about this. Now they're showing me Outlander. We're going to Scotland, everyone. Get on the plane, we're off to Scotland. They're showing me Outlander because apparently we're going to start time travelling again. Oh. Let me sit with this information then. What am I being shown? Oh, Claire's going to Scotland this year. She's going to go and, I don't know, end up getting sucked down a stone circle. Anyhow, how's this going to work? It's going to start off very gradual, where you go to a certain place and you start having these visions and weird experiences. Starts in dreams as well, in memories, in meditation. They're saying there's other ways to time slip rather than your physical body time slipping. You can time slip with your physical body, but this is also energetic time slipping, where people will come to, I've just lost an hour. It's a bit like, you know, when people say they've had an alien experience where they've gone off and they've lost time. It's a bit like that. What is the purpose of this then? It's to help people to understand. It's to help people to understand there is more. So, is this going to be people that haven't yet stepped onto a healing path? Yes. Which is why it has to be done gently, because it would cause, again, pain, confusion. It's not going to be like Outlander where you get sucked into a stone circle, you meet a sexy warrior, you meet a rapist and all of this. It's not going to be, it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels more, they're using the word wake-up calls. And it's going to start where you start to see different dimensions. It could be that they start to see their own guides first. It's not scary. It's not going to be scary. But as these stories start to go around, people will be like, oh. Do we have a year? Do we have a time span for this? 50 years. In the next 50 years. But I'm being told at that point that don't lose yourself in, 50 years, 100, because years are quickening up. They're getting faster. The future of planet Earth. This deck is all a little difficult. I'm not doing reverse. You don't do reverses with oracle cards anyway. It needs straightening up, this deck. Resolution. Old timelines collapsing. Insights, higher self-embodiment, expression. Star connection, guidance from the stars, galactic self, unified field. As these places keep coming on grid, more humans will keep coming on grid. This is not a I'm awakened, you're not, because even when you, in fact, there's a lot of people claiming they're on the awakening path and they're actually very not. Honestly, it's really scary out there at times. But anyhow, moving on from that. We are in for some fun times. We are definitely in for some fun times. We're wanting it now, we wanted it today, we wanted it yesterday. But we've got to allow it to play out. We've got to allow it to be and happen in its own time. Because if not, it will make us ill. And it will cause more pain and more confusion than actually being of help. Everything is on plan. For those of you that are fearful of the people that are in charge, the physical people, please note that they are not allowed to take things to extremes. And you may think, well, they're already doing that, but they're not allowed to take things to extremes. Everything is being watched, everything is being monitored, everything is being governed. There is nothing to fear. I like those cards. Star connection, resolution, old timelines collapsing, insights, higher self-embodiment, expression. So old timelines are collapsing for people. That's an amazing thing. You know, so this doesn't happen often, but now and again I'll do a healing session with someone and literally I will watch, and I'll just sit there and watch their timelines collapsing. And when that happens, it's like, yeah boy. It is, because it's like, whoa. You know, when you see spirit come in and they just light the soul contracts up and you're like, well done. Because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's all about the more you heal, the more you get in connection with your heart, the more that you can clear those lower timelines. Show me the future of Bermuda Triangle. Show me the future of Bermuda Triangle. Show me the future of Bermuda Triangle. Success, 6 of Wands. Keep getting this little gossip merchant here, don't we? Let me get a clarifier for him. Happiness. Light winds. I don't need a clarifier. I know what it is. Happiness, light winds. We're still going to get people that hold on to this because they love it. They love being in fear. They love it. Scared of their own shadow. We're still going to get old stories being published again to remember. Remember, as frequencies start to increase, as things start to come back on grid. Remember when that plane went missing? Wasn't there a plane that went missing? Twin Towers time. Some of you have asked me to read on that. Should we read on that? I need to get Google out. I do this on videos. What plane went missing? During what plane went missing? 9/11. United Flight 93, was it? Apologies for me Googling whilst people are sat looking at me. Let me have a look. God, sorry, apologies for this. It's come up, so I don't want to start waffling on. The story of 9/11 and the United Flight 3, so let me read. Begin as an ordinary late summer day as a sunrise friend of Wallace tours out there by the side of the commercial plane. Is it another plane then? I remember I watched a film about this. I'm going really cold. So, I'm sure there was a plane that went missing. Went missing. Oh, is that it? Malaysian Airlines flight MH370. Apologies. Let me pull some cards on that. So, flights, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, and put that card back in. Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, show me what happened. Restriction, travel, competition, passion, Wheel of Fortune, destiny, luck, Ten of Pentacles, responsibility. I'm wondering if there were some people on that flight that had ill intention. I don't really want to know what time are we on this video. I don't really want to go off into something else. Competition, restriction, there's a lot of ego on that flight. And I'm not saying everyone that's on it is ego, but I feel that maybe there were some people on it that needed to be stopped. I'll tell you what has been shown. Some people on that flight needed to be stopped, but also tested on, so the light could understand what was actually happening on Earth. So the craft was taken. The people on that ship that were of the light, they were helped to the other dimensions. The others that were on it were looked at, tested, and educated, and are being held in a place where they can heal and get. I wonder if there was something planned for the planet. People that I know very little about that, and there was something planned for the planet, and that just proves how spirit can step in and stop things happening. And also at that point, the Flight 93, I also feel had human interference. They did a great job, but I also feel those humans were able to really connect into their source energy, because to do that, to face that, is biblical. Anyhow, I don't want to make these videos too long. I hope this has helped. I am enjoying these videos. I will be doing more of these videos. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you want to book sessions, I keep forgetting to tell people, and people keep saying you do sessions. All my information are in the description box and the pinned comment, Tommy Rumbling. Other YouTube channels, Instagram, all of that is beneath in the description box. Next group healing is the 7th and 8th of February, which is healing the father wound. £22 again. Information is in the description box and a pinned comment. Thanks for watching. Love to all. Let's go ponder and Google, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.